Hello, this is part 2 of our look into the philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer, focusing on the suffering of the world, or the dark, twisted, psycho, messed up, edgy world of Arthur the Terror Lemon Schopenhauer. If you search for Schopenhauer on the YouTubes, you'll see a list of videos about how twisted and dark and edgy his philosophy is. The dark philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer. Life is like eternally eating a biscuit soaked in wee by Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer's flesh prison of life. They make him sound like a Swedish death metal band, when as we know he was a Polish meat human. Well, after everything I've heard, I for one can't wait to take a look and see what this mad sadist has written. What will it be? Eat maggots? Let crows peck out your eyes? Cook your own spleen with rosemary and garlic and serve it to Queen Sylvia of Sweden? This makes us see men in a true light and reminds us of what are the most necessary things. Tolerance, patience, forbearance and charity, which each of us needs and which each of us therefore owes. What? Where's the rat milk? The auto-cannibalism? Buttering cats? I thought this guy was supposed to be like Hannibal Lecter or something. But this? Have I got the right book? This sounds like Pete Seeger's autobiography. Yes, that's right. Psycho Schopenhauer wants you to love your neighbour. After all, since everything shares a will, remember that Jedi magic that binds us all together, harming another person is actually harming yourself. Like that stupid snake that keeps eating itself. You're going to eat yourself like some kind of stupid snake? No, of course you're not. You're an intelligent biological entity. You're going to be nice to everyone you meet. Because of the space magic. Yes, since we are all stuck in this world together, Schopenhauer says we may as well at least be nice to one another. However, despite being into peace, love and understanding, Schopenhauer, in his classic style, puts this all a little bit differently to John Lennon and his Flower Pot Men ever did. He says we are all compagnons de misère, or companions in misery. In other words, we had better learn to love each other because this world is a big, scary and mean place, and if we don't love each other, it's going to feel all the bigger, scarier and meaner. Now, before we go overboard and sit in a big circle and sing Peace Train, let's remind ourselves that our buddy Shopes was not a particularly happy bunny. He was about as far from a happy bunny as anyone could ever possibly be. A morose hare, perhaps. In fact, despite preaching about trying a little tenderness, our boy Schopenhauer was by all accounts a mean and vicious little doctor of philosophy, who enjoyed nothing more than preaching about the asceticism of the Buddha, while stuffing his face with caviar and popping out champagne corks with unorthodox and unhygienic parts of his body. Part of that last sentence may be a lie. Anyway, back to misery. You couldn't call Schopenhauer a glass half full kind of guy. His glass was totally empty, probably smashed, and the milk was everywhere, all over the floor, and he was crying his eyes out over it, and everything else was either on fire or soaked with wee. Even his ideas about kindness stemmed from his view that the world was a horrendously awful place, and that we should probably apologise to anyone who was ever born. Welcome to the world, Junior. I'm so sorry. So straight off the bat, Shopes tells us that if humans were not designed solely to suffer, then someone had really dropped the ball, because all we do is suffer all the blooming time. Yeah, that's right. I see you watching this video and suffering. Schopenhauer claims that the main reason for this is because we don't actually take much notice of when we're happy and content and things are going well, but constantly make note of when we're suffering or when our will is thwarted. Like when you're out somewhere and you're desperate for a wee, you don't stop in that moment and appreciate all the moments that you didn't need a wee, do you? Do you? Huh? I asked you a question. Try it for yourself. When was the last time you laughed? When was the last time you cried? Which was easier to remember? That being said, a little bit of suffering is good for our will. It's a kind of ballast that keeps us on the straight and narrow. Therefore, if humans were in paradise, paradise as far as Schopenhauer is concerned consists of free love and flying ready-cooked and ready-to-eat rotisserie turkeys, then humans would soon start murdering and fighting and enslaving and creating immense suffering for no other reason than just to stave off boredom. Either way, it's certainly not paradise for those poor delicious turkeys. Not that turkey suffering is comparable to human suffering. According to the mighty Schope dispenser, animals can't really suffer as much as humans. This is because they live in the moment, and so aren't particularly distressed about the denial of their will. When a gazelle is being eaten by a lion, it's not upset because this has spoilt its plans. "Oh no, I am being eaten. This is awful. I am going to miss my appointment at the manicurist." Humans, meanwhile, feel a denial of the will very keenly, and so can achieve mega suffering when it's denied. The only thing worse than this is getting what you want all the time, or the absolute fulfillment of your will. Then you're bored and have to go out and invent new things to suffer about. Yippee! Despite not believing in God, Schopenhauer concludes that everything is so very really bad and awful and not good that we must be being punished for something, because it's just so bad and awful all the time. Bye.